The 3-4 St. Francis Lancers ready to take on the 2-4-1 St. Ignatius Wildcats in this late October matchup. Opening kickoff goes to St. Francis, and return man David Mappa spots a hole in the special team defense. He navigates his way upfield to give the Lancers a quality starting position. Minutes later, the Lancers drive stalls. Place kicker Jason Shelton comes in and boots a terrific 42-yard field goal. 3-zip Lancers with an early lead. Time for the Wildcat offense to go to work. Quarterback Jack Stinn fakes the handoff and will roll out of the pocket heading to the sideline. A nice gain. Moments later, Stinn with a slight pump fake on the defense. He connects with Mike Pia, who absorbs the big hit by Grant Tinker. Wildcats in the shotgun formation, and Stinn will go deep to Mike Pia in the end zone. A terrific grab by Pia between two Lancers in the secondary. The 30-yard touchdown makes it 7-3. St. Francis with possession late in the first quarter, and the Lancers will call senior David Mappa's number. Mappa takes the ball up the middle and shows a little spin move on the hard-fought gain. The Lancers putting together a nice drive when quarterback C.J. Johnson is under attack from the Wildcat front line. Noah Bull pokes the ball out of his hands, causing the fumble, and Joey Miller will come out of the pile with it for St. Ignatius. Second quarter, C.J. Johnson comes out of the break looking for points. Johnson throws the quick out to Braden Bishop, who picks up the gain. Johnson starting to establish a rhythm with his go-to receiver. The Lancer QB drops back and throws a stunner once again to Braden Bishop along the sideline. Bishop does an incredible job staying in bounds to catch the 30-yard reception, moving the chains. Another down, another pass. Johnson hits Bishop on the screen for a new set of downs. The Lancers deep in Wildcat territory, and the Johnson-Bishop tandem will end the drive on a high note. A 19-yard touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone, and the Lancers scrambling the Wildcat secondary for a 10-7 lead. You can see the two buddies enjoying their teamwork on the sidelines. Wildcats quarterback Jack Stinn would return the favor though. The play-action pass finds Mike Pia, who picks up 10 before being tackled out of bounds. St. Ignatius changing things up, and they will hand off to Albert Waters. Waters cuts upfield and will not be denied. He spins off the defender and picks up a solid 20-yard gain. Jack Stinn would go back to work in the pocket. The play action draws a swarm of blitzing defenders, and the Wildcat quarterback will let it fly for a 30-yard touchdown wide open to Mike Pia. 14-10, the Wildcats back in the lead. But with a matchup involving so many star players, do you really think the score would stay this way for long? Not a chance. C.J. Johnson dumps a soft pass in the backfield to Darrell Crooks, and he would wish him safe travels. Crooks makes his way to the end zone before the dust could settle, and just like that, the Lancers are back in the lead, 17-14. Albert Waters back to receive on the ensuing kickoff, and it may be time to hide your kids, hide your wife. Arthur Wolpert comes from out of nowhere and delivers a bone-crushing tackle that gets the Bay Area's Richter scale moving. A tackle so ferocious, you'll be seeing that again in Sports Focus's season recap for sure. The Wildcats pick up the pieces and will go to work on offense. Jack Stinn fires a laser to the ever-reliable Mike Pia, and St. Ignatius go back on top, 21-17. With seconds left in the half, C.J. Johnson and the Lancers would air it out deep, but Kevin O'Connor plays his receiver perfectly, and he would grab the pick. At the end of an action-packed 2 quarters of football, the St. Ignatius Wildcats lead it 21-17. With the start of the second half, the passing game would continue to reign supreme. Jack Stinn shows great patience, finds his tight end Travis McDowell for the 20-yard pickup. Again, Stinn showing great poise, waits for the right timing, and tracks down McDowell in the back of the end zone. 28-17, the Wildcats push their lead. Now it's time for St. Francis to respond. Johnson hands off to Crooks, and he shows his skill on reading the defense. A great 25-yard run before he's dragged down. And the Lancers go back to their star halfback. Crooks evades shoelace tackles and finds lots of running room as he breaks off a 58-yard touchdown run. The Lancers close back in at 28-24. St. Ignatius eager to stop the Lancer momentum when the rush by Albert Waters is fumbled. Kia Faribi comes away with it for the Lancers. St. Francis in possession. CJ Johnson looking to go up top once again to Braden Bishop, but Albert Waters shakes off the fumble and makes a great defensive play. Johnson settles back in at quarterback and finds Shane, our team, right in front of our cameraman. A beautiful touchdown pass, making it 31-28. You can see the raw emotion as these two sides go back and forth, entering the final frame. Jack Stinn rallies his troops and goes back to work on offense. He'll drop off a dump pass to Dom Truocolo, and Big Dom will do the rest. A 25-yard gain for the Wildcats. Dom Truocolo gets the call once again, and he fights his way up the middle, down at the 1-yard line. And Big Dom finishes off the drive with his offensive line creating the push. He's into the end zone, making it 35-31, St. Ignatius on top. It's time for the Lancers to put together a 2-minute drill in hopes of the win. CJ Johnson connects with Austin Woodard. The clock continues to tick. Johnson lined up in the shotgun, and he can't find any open receivers, so he will take off and pick up the big gain before running out of bounds to stop the clock. But St. Ignatius loses its cool and gets tagged with the late hit, moving the Lancers further into Wildcat territory. Johnson back under center with 30 seconds remaining, and he will go for the win. The deep pass in the corner of the end zone beats two Wildcat defenders, and Braden Bishop comes down with it for the 27-yard dramatic go-ahead score. 38-35, Lancers are ecstatic. The Wildcats, snake-bitten so many times at the tail end of games all season long, have to move the length of the field. The lateral would be batted down and recovered by the Lancers, and with it, another devastating loss for St. Ignatius. The St. Francis Lancers, with the help of CJ Johnson and Braden Bishop, create last-second heroics and claim an action-packed victory, 38-35.
Oh, it feels great. I mean, the last few games we've had a lot of momentum, and we just got to stay within ourselves, play our football. Coach has set us up for a great game, so we just execute and come up on top like today.